guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Cynthia, and I just like to share with you guys the different things that I've been through in my life and how God has got me through them and what He's doing for me in my life as of right now. So today I wanted to share with you guys something very dear to my heart. So for those of you who know me, know that I lost my daughter in 2014. I think I spoke about it in one of my other videos. So yeah, so pretty much I'm just gonna be answering some questions that I know a lot of people probably have. So the first question is, how did your child pass away? So she passed away from severe congenital heart disease. But I'm gonna kind of backtrack just to give you guys an idea of kind of like what happened. So I wasn't diagnosed with this during my pregnancy, nothing. I wasn't told anything was gonna be wrong. I had no complications, nothing. I had, okay, I'm probably gonna mess up this word so bad, so forgive me. I'll post it up somewhere right here, that way you guys can look it up on your own if you guys like. It's called Hydromyositis. It's 1 to 2% of women get it during the pregnancies. I just happen to be that 1 to 2%. It's excessive amniotic fluid in your belly, and that's why I was so big. Like, for those of you who knew me during my pregnancy with her, I was huge, ladies, like huge. Like, I know, like, we all feel huge when we're pregnant, you know, we feel big, we look big, but I am talking like abnormally huge. Like, it looked like I was having twins. Like, that's how big I was. But the doctor never diagnosed me. I had no idea what this even was. I didn't even know it was a thing. But yeah, so I didn't find out until, I believe, after, when I actually got her autopsy done. So I had that during my pregnancy, and then she was also born with, okay, I'm gonna put these words on the screen, that way you guys can look it up for yourselves, because I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them right, but Microria. So I looked it up, and it's when the ear tissue is underdeveloped. So she had it on her left ear. She had just like little skin of her ear, and then she was also born with Microria. So it caused her abnormal breathing, which is what they noticed when she was born, and it's pretty much her jaw was really small and it was pushed back. So she was born with that as well. So after I gave birth, she wasn't breathing right, so they noticed that, and so they gave her to me, you know, to have that skin to skin. They gave her to me for a couple seconds. I gave her a kiss. They took her to Loma Linda. I think I spoke about it in my other video. They took her to Loma Linda. So she ended up needing heart surgery. They took her to get heart surgery on June 12th. So 12 days after her birth. She was born June 1st. So her 12th day. And obviously open heart surgery is serious. It's not a little procedure, especially with the baby, you know. It's open heart surgery. After her surgery, she needed a lot of blood transfusions. She wasn't doing good. And then she had to end up getting a blood clot removed from behind her heart. So after they did that procedure, her blood pressure was just, you know, it wasn't stable, and then she began having seizures after that. Like, they said that she was having like a lot of seizures after that, and then her blood pressure just dropped. I remember they called me that day, and they said, hey, Emily's not doing too good, you need to hurry to the hospital. And I was just like, okay, you know, I'm on my way. I literally had just got out of the shower. I looked a mess. I was like so frantic. Like, I didn't even put my pants on right. They were inside out, but I didn't care, you know, when it's something, you know, to do with your child or like an emergency like that, you don't think, you're just like, gotta go, you know. So we were on our way, and then I just felt so helpless in the car. We got on the freeway. We were on the freeway. There was so much traffic. Like, it was ridiculous. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to hurry to my daughter. Like, I just literally wanted to run out of that car and just like run. But the doctor ended up calling me again, and he said, hey, you really need to get here, you know, like, I really need you here. He never told me she wasn't gonna make it yet. He didn't tell me nothing like that yet over the phone. He was just saying, you really need to get here. So I get there, we run up, and then we get inside, and then he says, hey, she's not doing too good, she's not gonna make it. So I remember holding her, and it literally felt like I was holding her for like a few seconds. I'm not sure exactly how long it was, but she ended up passing away in my arms. You know, that's one of the things that I'm really grateful for, is that, you know, she waited for me. Like, she was clinging on for her life until I got there. So yeah, that's one of the things like I'm really grateful for. But yeah, so she passed away from severe congenital heart disease. The second question I have is, how many children do you have? That one, you would think that it's an easy question, but it's really not. So I have my stepson, so it would be 4 in total. So when people ask me, how many children do you have? There's some times where I just say 3, because I know that people ask questions. Sometimes, like, I just don't like to explain, or sometimes I do answer, and sometimes I say, I just play along with it. I say how old she is. You know, they were to ask me, I'm like, oh yeah, she's 7, and they're just like, oh, you're only a little girl, or, you know, they just make conversation. You know, people don't know. But when I do tell people, I just don't like them to feel uncomfortable, or I don't like them to feel sorry for me. I don't like pity. You know, yes, it's sad, you know, I lost my daughter, but like, I don't need people to feel sorry for me, and I don't feel sorry for myself either, you know. I just don't like to put people in that awkward position where they don't know what to say, and then they just say, oh dang, like, you know. But I do have 4 kids, you know. She's my daughter, you know, she's always gonna be my daughter. You know, I'm her mom. Like, that is still my daughter regardless of what happened. So I have 4 kids. What was it like in the hospital? The hospital, I felt kind of helpless. It sucked because, like I said, it kind of blindsided me. I didn't expect it. You know, I went to the hospital expecting to give birth, you know, and to bring my daughter home with me, and that wasn't the case. So, you know, leaving the hospital was probably the hardest, you know, because I went in bearing a child, but I came out without my baby. So yeah, I felt helpless, but, you know, going to see her at the hospital, I kind of felt a bit of jealousy towards the nurses, because they got to spend more time with her than I did. So I felt, you know, like, I wish I was in their place. I remember a nurse, my daughter was just like, she was just so like irritated, you know, she was fussy, crying, and I just didn't know what to do, you know. And then she was just like, oh, you know, she's fine, she's just a little cranky because of medicine. And you know, they got to see her open her eyes for the first time, and I was kind of like, you know, like those were the moments that I was supposed to, you know, have first. You know, I'm supposed to tell them how my daughter is because I'm her mom. But you know, with the circumstances and everything, it wasn't like I don't know how to explain it, like it wasn't like a anger, jealousy towards them. It was just like, man, like I wish I can be in their place, you know. What do you hope your child knew? Honestly, I just hope that she knew how much I loved her, you know. In the beginning, I didn't want her. In the beginning, I felt so scared, and I just didn't know what I was gonna do. And I only told a couple of people this, but in the beginning of my pregnancy, I did contemplate having an abortion with her. But I was never one to believe in abortions. You know, I believe, you know, a life's a life. So, you know, just looking back, and I had a lot of regret, you know, for even thinking about having those thoughts. I had a lot of regret for, you know, even contemplating it, because I would, you know, think like I wanted her gone, and she's really gone now, you know. So you know, that hurt me a lot, and I just hope that she knew, and she knows that I love her, you know. Do you blame anyone? Yes. I blamed my doctor. Because simply for the fact that I was so big. As a doctor, you know that this isn't normal. I went in, of course, yes, I knew I was big, but I didn't know it was anything medically wrong with me. I'm not a doctor. I never heard about this, so you know, I do blame him. I did blame him, sorry. You know, I did blame him, and I felt, no, it probably wouldn't have changed the situation of her, you know, passing away, but it could have mentally prepared me. I felt, you know, obviously you can never completely mentally prepare for losing your child, but you know, you would have like, okay, you know, like expect what's coming, but I had none of that. And I just, you know, like, what if, you know, he were to see that early on, you know, like what if, you know, something could have been done. But you know, now I know that, you know, God's plan is God's plan. There's no what ifs about it, you know. What was gonna happen was gonna happen regardless of him finding out or not, you know. So I did blame my doctor. What was the worst thing someone said to you when your child passed away? I don't think anybody really said anything bad. I just feel like people didn't really want to bring it up because it was such a sensitive topic. There was a point in time, okay, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. There was a point in my life where I would get upset when people would try to compare their losses with mine. People would say, I understand what you're going through. I lost so-and-so, you know, I kind of went through this, so I know kind of how you feel. And in my mind at that moment, I'm like, no, you don't know how I feel. I lost my daughter. You don't know how that feels. You don't know how I feel, like, but God has brought me to a place where he was just like, look, I brought you to this place not to have pity for yourself, not to compare your loss to others, but to bring you to a place where you can help others and show them how you got through it, and that is through me, because God is the one who helped me through it. When you lose somebody you love, you have a void in your heart, and that's what God showed me, and he's the only one that can fill in that void for you. There's no alcohol can fill that void. No relationship can fill that void. No drug can fill that void. No amount of hours at your job can fill that void, because at the end of the day it's still gonna be there. When you're sober, it's still gonna be there. God was the only one that was able to fill in that void in my heart for me, and to help me get through it, not to sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. But yeah, no, as far as like people saying stuff to me like during her passing, I feel like people were, God had surrounded me with amazing people, who just loved on me and who were there for me, and just to comfort me at that time when I was going through that. Did you go for therapy? No. My therapy was giving it to God. My therapy was learning to talk about it, and because I felt like I had to be strong. I couldn't talk about it to other people because I didn't want them to feel bad or for me. But I learned it's okay to talk about her. It's okay to cry. It's okay to remember her life. It's okay, but it's not okay to keep it all bottled up. Like, I remember I would cry and I would pray to God, and I'm like, God, like, why did you take her? Like, why? Like, know that she changed my life, and I thank God for everything that happens in my life, because I know that if we don't go through the storm, we're never gonna know what it is to have peace in our lives. Like, if we don't go through dark places, we're never gonna appreciate the light in our life. So we have to get to a place of weakness and helplessness in order for us to be stronger. We have to be vulnerable, and that's where God got a hold of me, was when I was in that place, and he strengthened me, he's showing me, and it just made me stronger to get to the next trial that comes my way. I know how to deal with pain now. I know how to deal with loss now, and yes, I still miss her. I still love her. There's times where it does hit me. I have my ups and my downs, but I have a peace in my heart now. I no longer I don't have any anger or bitterness, or I don't question God about it, because I learned to accept the reality and what's happened already. We just can't dwell in the past and always wonder what if. Was it hard to see pregnant women and other babies? Yes. In the beginning, after everything had happened, it was hard seeing little baby girls, that would have been Emily's age or close to her age. I would literally just start crying, because I would say it's not fair. I'm supposed to be able to have my baby girl with me. I was supposed to be able to take her home. And then, even now, like, I see, it doesn't hurt me, but I'll look at a little girl that's supposed to be around Emily's age, and I'm just like, oh, you know, like Emily would have been, you know, 7, you know, and you know, just I just can't wait for the day that I get to hold her in my arms again, you know, and just, you know, see her again. What is your view of life now? Life is short. Cherish the moments that we have, and you know, cherish everybody that you have around you. You know, don't stay mad at people, because you never know what, you know, what's gonna happen. You never know if the last thing you said to that person is gonna be the last thing that you've ever said to that person. And you know, just love people. You know, don't hold any unforgiveness towards anybody. Don't hold any anger towards anybody. Life is just too short for that. What is your happiest memory with your child? Well, all the moments that I got with her were in the hospital, but I have a few. One of the happiest moments was the first time I got to hold her, was when they handed her to me after I gave birth. I remember holding her, and I remember kissing her lips, and I don't know, like, it's just weird, like I can still feel her lips on mine, like as I kissed her, you know, I can still envision that, I can still feel how it felt. And another one was when I first seen her with her eyes open. I remember she was holding my finger with her little hand, and I was just looking at her, and then all of a sudden she opened up her eyes, and she had these big, beautiful brown eyes, and I was just like, oh my God, she opened her eyes. And the nurse was like, oh yeah, she's usually awake around this time. And I was just like, oh my God, like, she's so beautiful. Like, obviously she was already beautiful, but like that was the first time like I have ever seen her with her eyes open, and I was just like, oh, she's so beautiful. And it was just, you know, an exciting moment, you know. And then like being able to just go, like, hold her and, you know, just be with her, you know. Sorry. What would you like to say to others who have lost a child? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to talk about them. You know, it's okay to hurt. It's okay to grieve. I would like to say, but don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't dwell in it. Because if you keep, you know, dwelling in your sorrow and you keep feeling bad for yourself, you know, you're never going to get past it. You know, don't keep dwelling in the what if she was still here, what if he was still here, what if I would have done things differently, because, you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, we can't change the past. You know, what's happened. We can't take it back. So, you know, like, just learning to accept what happened, and, you know, just making the best of it, you know, keeping the memory alive, you know, and just talking about it, you know, and, you know, giving your hurt to God, and, you know, allowing him to pick up those broken pieces and to fill in the voids in your heart. Because if, you know, if you turn to alcohol, if you turn to drugs, if you turn to money, whatever it is, you know, those are only temporary fixes. Like I said earlier, at the end of the day, we're alone in our own thoughts, you know. At night when nobody else is around, you know, God is the one who hears us. You know, God sees every tear that you've cried, every prayer that you spoke. You know, don't, like, know that they don't go in vain. You know, God hears you. You know, he sees you. He knows your hurt. You know, sometimes he's just waiting for you to give it to him. And, you know, I learned that. You know, I learned to, you know, give my hurts and my worries and, you know, all my desires, you know, to God, and I'm okay with everything now, you know, and just to grow from it, you know, and just cherish you know, what you have. I wanted to say, you know, like, God did not take her from me to hurt me. You know, that probably won't make sense to a lot of people, but I know that, like I said earlier, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that happening. You know, a lot of times, like I said, like, God will bring us to a vulnerable place, you know, for us to, you know, like, wake up, you know, and for us to turn to Him, and that just happened to be the place that I had to get to. But, you know, I give all glory to God. You know, I thank God for what He's brought me through and for giving me the strength, you know, getting through this, you know, and being able to share my testimony with you guys and with everybody around me. And, you know, like, don't lose hope. You know, like, you are seen, you are loved, your kids are not forgotten, your loved ones are not forgotten. You know, I know that all babies go to heaven. When I went back to drinking, I was like, what am I doing? You know, like, I lost my daughter, and like, what am I, like, don't I want to see her in heaven? Like, what am I doing? So, you know, that was one of the big reasons too. Like, I want to be able to see my daughter in heaven, you know, like, and I want to be with her, and so, you know, I'm just like, God, like, you're, you know, like, I want to be there too, you know, I want to, woo. So, but yeah, you know, you guys, I just want to say, you know, like, God's gonna use your story, you know, for a testimony, you know, to help others around you. You know, you're still here, you know, you're still, you know, making an impact on people's lives, you know, with your story. So don't lose hope. You know, share your story, share your strength with others, you know, give them hope. You know, there's always a rainbow after the storm. And, you know, that's another story that I'm going to share with you guys, is my rainbow baby. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you guys are notified when I do post another video. I love you guys, and stay blessed. Deuces.